Welcome to the Treasurer's Training Part 5, the Monthly Treasurer Report. This is Activity 9, found on page 20 and 21. Club Meeting Scenario. You are about to attend the November 12th club meeting, and you need to prepare the Monthly Treasurer Report. The previous meeting was October 7th, and the ending checkbook balance at that meeting was $650.66. You will need to use worksheet number 1 to determine checks that were written and deposits made since the last meeting. Now, it's very important for you to attend every club meeting and to have a prepared treasurer report. This will inform the club of all the income and expenses since the last club meeting. Members need to know how much money is in all club accounts so they can make decisions on what the club can afford and when it comes to paying expenses. Now, in filling in the treasurer report, I'm going to put the actual Excel document on the screen, and I would like you to fill in your paper form found on page 21 and follow along with me. On the screen is the Excel copy of the monthly treasurer report. So the first thing it asks is for us to put the meeting date, and the meeting date is November 12th, and then we would put the year, whatever it would be. The previous meeting date was October 7th, and the previous checking account balance was $650.66. And the previous savings account balance was $565.45. The next thing it asks is for money received since the last meeting, including any transfers from savings into checking. So this is where we would look on the itemized income form for a detail of income. So we have $24, and that came from Mary Farmer, and remember that was for bowling. And then we also received that $18 from Larry Fields, and that was also for bowling. And you'll notice how this document will total. So our total money received is $42. Down to expenses, expenses paid since last meeting, including any transfers out of checking into savings. I want to talk to you a little bit about a transfer. Now let's say that you have $200 in your checking account and you don't have any money in your savings, and you want to transfer $100 from checking into savings. Once you do that, you'll have $100 in checking and $100 in savings. You still have the same $200, you just transferred it from one account to the other. Now for expenses. You'll need to look in your October Excel checkbook ledger, also on worksheet 1, to determine what your expenses are. And you'll see that you wrote a check for $23.27 to Kenmore Office Supply. And that was for treasurer supplies. And you can see how that totals to total expenses paid. What I love about this form is that when you take your starting balance up on top, add in your income and expenses, subtract out expenses, we have our total of $669.39. Now this is also in the same amount that's in your October Excel checkbook ledger at this time. Now the savings from up above transfers down into the savings box. Here's the savings account summary. Our starting balance is $565.45. Add money transferred from checking to savings, we didn't add any. And subtract money from savings into checking, and we didn't move anything. Was there interest? Well, on our last bank statement, there was $2.33, and I'll hit my tab because tab is how you make all the formulas work. And now the ending balance is $567.78, excuse me. So we transfer down to the bottom. You can see that the checking account balance is $669.39. The savings account balance is $567.78, and the total checking and savings is $1,237.17. You would then sign this report, and you would report this at a club meeting. So your treasurer report should look like mine that's on the screen. And if you haven't filled it in, please hit pause and take time to do so. Exercise 2 is reading the treasurer report at a club meeting, and it's very simple to look at this form and just read it as it is. So you would say, this is the treasurer report for November 12th, 2000, and you'd say the year. The previous meeting date was October 7th, and the previous ending checking account balance was $650.66, and the previous meeting ending savings balance was $565.45. Money received since the last meeting was $24 from Mary Farmer for bowling and $18 from Larry Fields for bowling, with total money received of $42. Expenses paid since the last meeting include $23.27 made out to Kenmore Office Supply for treasurer's supplies for total expenses of $23.27. Our closing checking account balance is $669.39. In our savings account, our starting balance was $565.45. We added interest of $2.33 with an ending balance in savings of $567.78. In our checking, we have $669.39. In our savings, we have $567.78 with total checking and savings of $1,237.17. Then, after you're done reading the report, you will need to ask the club if there are any outstanding bills that need to be paid, and if you have some that need to be paid, you let them know. So for example, you could say, we have a bill from Ace Hardware for $43.24 for the club flower box for county fair. You would need to ask the president to ask for a motion and have approval for this payment before paying bills, and make sure that the secretary has the motion recorded in the minutes. The president would also ask for the treasurer report to be approved as read. This concludes the end of the treasurer training, part 5, and now you'll go to treasurer training part 6, where you will learn how to organize your records and complete the end of the year chartering documents.